Thank you for joining us for the 2-minute drills. I'm Aram Talegian, San Gabriel Valley Newspaper Group football writer behind the camera. On the left, Fred J. Robledo, the San Gabriel Valley Tribune Prep Sports editor, and on the right, Miguel Melendez, the Pasadena Star News Prep Sports editor. Guys, oh man, I feel like this is deja vu. I feel like
San Dimas Monrovia 4.
I feel like we've been here before. Monrovia 10-2 at San Dimas 8-4 Saturday night. 7 p.m. Is that right, Freddie? Or do you have a 7:30?
7:30.
Okay, 7:30 start for this one at San Dimas High School.
Is in the Christmas parade, so we got a late start.
All right. Well, hey, do what you got to do, I guess. Guys, let's get right into this. I mean, when we bring Freddie and Miguel in, we can only be talking about one thing: a little crossover love. San Dimas, an at-large team, they're not playing like one. They're the defending Mid-Valley Division champion. They are that because they beat Monrovia in last year's finals. Prior to that, last regular season, Monrovia beat San Dimas. They had a rematch this season. This was going to be the spot where Monrovia, got the revenge and showed them that the championship game was a fluke. It looked like it was going to happen for 3 quarters. Then San Dimas makes an unbelievable rally, pulls out a 35-34 win in overtime. Freddie, I don't know. Maybe Miguel's the guy to answer this. I think Coach Zernico and his mind tricks are in Monrovia's head.
Well, yeah. And, this
how can you explain it?
I mean, and this is where we're supposed to be, too. I mean, you look at San Dimas, Aram. I mean, this is why they go out and they scheduled Rancho Cucamonga. I mean, they played Bonita. They played Monrovia earlier this season, and that was that miracle comeback. That's what you're talking about with, how does Zernico have it over
at
Monrovia,
Freddie?
It was at San Dimas.
Oh,
it was at San Dimas, a miracle comeback in the fourth quarter to pull that game out. Of course, in the championship last year, it was in pouring rain. They beat Bueno and Monrovia at 12-7. Monrovia's 9th straight loss in a championship game. That's why I've dubbed them the Billy Cats. I know they can't stand that. They have a chance to avenge that this year.
Fred, not welcome in M-Town anymore.
But this is what everybody kind of expected or wanted. These two teams going at it one more time. I mean,
that's what Monrovia wanted.
But when I look at the 3 previous games, Monrovia absolutely blew them out last year. Remember that regular season game?
Yeah.
San Dimas has come by and they won the championship by 5 points. That was in rain. I know Monrovia felt that was a game that if the conditions weren't like that, maybe Bueno has a much better game. It's a different outcome. Earlier in the season, they handled San Dimas for 3 quarters. San Dimas comes back and wins that game in the end. Monrovia must feel like they're going to this game, Miguel. If they don't get it done now, when are they ever going to get it done?
Yeah, I think we're beginning to see a pattern that the weather is kind of starting to take its effect, or it's starting to take its toll on Monrovia.
It's taking its toll on Miguel, too. This guy's so sick over here.
You're here to do a job.
You saw against San Dimas last year in the rain, and you saw how much it affected Monrovia's offense. And again, on last Friday against Sure, they got off to a real slow start. I don't know if it's the weather that's really affecting this team. And last year against Paraclete and Lancaster, again, they got off to a slow start. And I'm starting to wonder if they're just not, if they can't play under these conditions. Nick Bueno got off to a slow start. I think he only had like 26 yards rushing in the first half, and it was their defense that once again came up big to help him secure the win. And I talked to Sure coach after the game, Ben Neguete. He said that we can play this team, we can beat them, we're as good as this team, and I think he had a point. I think if not for those 4 turnovers or so, Monrovia's defense once again came up and got the win for him. But if we see a weather like this again Saturday, we don't know if we might see another slow start.
The weather was warm, back in September when Monrovia lost to San Dimas too. So I mean, they've played in any kind of weather so far.
But Monrovia's offense, I don't think, was sluggish to start.
Yeah, but you know what? That was a perfect game. This season's regular season game. That was a perfect game to take advantage of a San Dimas team, Freddie, as we knew that lost some guys. And Monrovia was the big revenge and veteran team, and it just didn't happen. And now San Dimas, as we know, Bill Zernico, Brian Mustang, these guys get better as the season gets longer. They're a very savvy coaching staff. The San Dimas team this year, they could have beaten Covina. They could have beaten Baldwin Park. They just didn't put 2 halves together. They're starting to do that, obviously, as you can see now. They beat a good Arroyo team. They really got up in Maranatha. But Monrovia, gosh, I mean, if they're going to win the title, it kind of is nice for them to play San Dimas, because winning a title without beating San Dimas wouldn't be the same as winning a title.
I think it's the perfect storm.
It is the perfect storm.
They have to go through.
Since that San Dimas lost this regular season, 9 straight wins for Monrovia. Guys, as much as I like San Dimas, this is crazy. Monrovia's burned people before for saying this. I think this is the time they turn the tables. I got Monrovia in this game.
Well, and the thing is, and you mentioned Coach Zernico, and he's done a masterful job, Aaron. When you look at the end of the season, you go into that game last week against Maranatha. What does he do? He's the only coach on Friday that brings out black jerseys on Black Friday.
Yeah,
something mentally that just gets your players into the game. Yeah. And they blew out Maranatha. I was looking at the scores.
He's an at-large berth team, right?
I mean, that game was over before it started. And you just going into a game like this on Friday. One, that they're the defending champions. They have players who have won that championship. I don't think they're going to be intimidated at all, San Dimas, going into that game. However, Nick Bueno, I can't get that performance out of my head that he had against South Hills, Aram. I thought he was great. I just think he's been waiting for this game for over a year. We started the season with our season preview magazine of him on the cover in his muddy uniform. And what was the title of that?
Unfinished Business.
Unfinished Business. And here we are. This is where you finish the business, Nick. Yeah. This is your game. You've been waiting for this the whole year.
Yeah.
I mean, this is your opportunity on Friday night. And I'm taking Monrovia because I'm taking best player on the best team in the biggest game. I just think there's no way they lose this game again. I think they should have beaten San Dimas the first time they got away from them. They should have beaten them. And I think they're going to beat him on Friday night, and I don't think it's going to be close.
Best player, Fred. Saturday night. Best player is Ellis McCarthy. But I know what you're saying.
Impact player, Aaron. Impact player.
Oh, Ellis makes impact, too.
Well, it's not going to be close on Saturday night. I'm taking the Billy Cats.
You don't want to argue with that? The guy's got a UCLA scholarship.
Impact player. Guys who throw and run the ball. He's impactful. I'm lying, but I'm just saying.
I'm just giving you trouble.
Yeah.
One thing, obviously, I'm taking Monrovia too.
Wow.
And it's
boy.
It's sort of a no-brainer. But
Trifecta.
The sure coach said on Friday night that
he thinks they're beatable, huh?
Not only that, but I mean, he thinks that he said we contained Bueno. We had him in the pocket. He wasn't. He obviously looked uncomfortable, but. Still, he burned you on that 24-yard run for that second touchdown. He still found some long passes. So there were 3 or 4 key plays that eventually led to that win. So even if you stop him,
but you know what
he's still going to have.
You know what the difference is, though? That was sure. You don't get up for the game the same way as you're playing San Dimas. And that's been my whole thing with high school kids when you go into big games. These ones where you're supposed to win, sometimes you can be lethargic. You can come out and you can have a bad game. But now you're in a situation where this is the game you've been looking forward to the whole season, except for the championship, which is the next step. You've got San Dimas. That's why I think Monrovia, we're going to see their best game on Friday night. This is why they play the preseason schedule. That's why losing to San Dimas early in the year probably isn't a bad thing right now, because now they get the makeup game in the semifinals the same way San Dimas had the makeup game in the championship last year. Believe me, mentally, these things make a difference. Monrovia, this is the game they've been waiting for, Aaron. That's why I just don't see any way they're going to lose it. I mean, they're already a good team to begin with. You put them in a situation like this, they're going to win.
The way they lose it is not physically. It's mentally.
I love what San Dimas doing. I still don't think they're as good as last year's team.
As I've said since summer, mentally, I always call Monrovia into question. I'm not saying they're not smart guys. I'm not saying they're not savvy guys. Just something happens to them, and it's only going to take one big win.
The good thing is, Aaron,
what?
It's a semifinal, not a championship. They're 9-0 in
I know that, but this is still, San Dimas. They eventually are going to get over this mental block that they have when they do a championship will be right around the corner. I think it's going to be on Saturday night at 7:30 at San Dimas. We all picked Monrovia. Hey, we all picked them in the first game too. And
what do you think the Saints are going to wear on Friday?
I don't know. I mean,
how those jerseys look? They sound pretty cool.
Well, we weren't there, but we heard about the black jerseys on Black Friday.
Well, it ain't going to be about what you wear. It's going to be about what's inside what you wear. San Dimas has shown the heart and the mental fortitude to get things done.
You heard it here first. Bueno is going to go for one of his career games on Saturday night.
I don't know how you can say that when this is the fourth time these teams have met. They'll have something for them. But again, Monrovia finds a way. I don't know how, but they find a way. How's that for a prediction, folks? Okay, we all three have Monrovia. Get out to this game. Should be another epic. It always is anytime these two teams play. This is at San Dimas High School, 7:30 on Friday night, the Mid-Valley Division semifinals. Enjoy it.